better to subdue the League of Outlaws than the king of their kind.
Oh yeah, you can only do 3 of them. Go north. Well, conveniently, there's a shortcut.
There it is. The flood. But what's waiting for us inside?
I don't see anyone attacking. Level 40 now.
Finished. Stay down.
Oh, here we go. Where is this? Oh, okay.
We can't leave a single one alive.
Dun, dun, dun. I love how Torgal's like, woo, 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 like in your face.
The League is disbanded. I should get back to Dalimil and see how the others fared.
You get back and it's all rubble and they've all turned into Akashic and you're like, well, I guess it didn't work. Move on to the next one. Bongos. Some time later.
All the Akashic we were able to find have been dealt with.
Of course.
Seems that might be the last of them.
How convenient.
Last of them here, perhaps.
Lubor, Clive has returned. Clive! What news from Charatina?
It's done. Root and branch.
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Thank you, my lord.
Friends, the Horde has been driven back. The Akashic have been defeated. And we need not fear the arrival of any more, thanks to Clive.
Until the next
Victory
one.
is ours.
Until the next one.
We bloody did it!
We saved Dalamil.
Who saved it?
Lubor, allow me to apologize.
Here it
After
comes.
all you have done for this town,
Here comes the
we
lesson
should
learned.
never have doubted you.
But we did. And for that we are truly sorry. We only hope that you can forgive us.
We need you, Lubor. Dalimil needs you. So, if you would still like to be considered for the position of mayor, you have our backing.
You do remember that I'm a bearer, don't you?
We do. But that is not a stain on your character.
Wow,
It is a stain on
it took a near-death experience for them to wake up. What a shocker.
ours. We thought only of what we perceived bearers to be, not what you truly are.
Are you going to treat all bearers
The
differently
man
now?
who saved Dalimil twice over.
I see. But I will only accept your proposal on 2 conditions.
Name them.
Bearers don't get
Firstly-
treated like bearers.
That you will both do everything in your power to rally your people to my cause. If the Town Guard and the Merchants League do not accept my leadership, it will be doomed from the start. Unity is the key to defending Dalimil, and I do not doubt that we shall need to call on our combined strength again. When that time comes, I will expect us all to pull together, just as we did today.
Of course. You have our word.
And secondly, you will accept that if I am to lead you, the mistreatment of bearers must end here in Dalimil. Any bearer within our walls shall be afforded the same rights as any other citizen. They will not be judged by what they are, but who they are.
As we failed to do, and came so close to losing everything.
We agree to your conditions. And we have only one in return. That you continue to work for the good of Dalimil, as you always have.
Condition accepted. Well then, it seems my mayorship is all but confirmed. Do I get some sort of special hat?
This is really important in this game, this story, because it's like a bearer, somebody who's been treated like he hasn't got a mark, but like is being given one of the highest honors in the town. To help run it, they're counting on him and they are praising him, which is like the first kind of probably town to do that. So apart from the Hideaway, the first town to official town in the game to actually treat bearers as a thing. Which obviously won't even happen overnight either.
How fickle fate can be. Not so long ago, I had resigned myself to leaving Dalimil in disgrace.
He was actually going to leave.
And now, I find myself her leader. Here. For everything.
Here's some guilt for the trouble.
Lubo. About the children.
Fear not, you are of course relieved of your responsibility. I would sooner face another horde of Akashic than see them brought up as outlaws. I'll make sure they're safe here.
I don't doubt that you will. And not just the children, but everyone in Dalimil.
I'll do my best. Can't have all your hard work going...
Finger slip. Thus ends the tale of Dalimil. The theme's gone again.
Come on. Here we are again. Carava. If you were a tortoise, Togo, where would you hide? It looks like we found him. Enough.
Easy peasy. Ba 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 da ba ba ba.
I better get these materials to Mid so she can finish it.
Oh, perfect. Another one down. Another one down. Another one down. There's a quest here. Oh no, there's multiple quests here. It's not a good start. There's multiple quests here. That's what you want to see. I don't think we're finishing the game today, guys.
My lord, I trust your journey was not overly onerous.
Cyril,
Too many
you
quests.
found a letter from Father.
Yes, I have it here. If you would do us the honor, my lord.
My lord. I know I asked much of you this coming war, but I see no other way to secure a future for the duchy and our family yet. Should we succeed in subduing the savages and manufacturing the threat of the blight still looms, and only with Rosario striving as one last person to overcome it. I have made plans to see us through, but such are the obstacles standing in our way. It shall likely fall to you to continue my work. I know that you have the strength and courage to do what the will and the will to do so. It shall be an arduous inheritance, and so I offer you another. That you might be reminded of the love and faith I hold for both of you, your father.
An inheritance.
It would seem the late Archduke penned this missive shortly before his passing.
The day before we left for Phoenix Gate.
What are these plans he spoke of?
His plans for the duchy, Your Grace. Your father entrusted them to my predecessor, the former bearer of the Burning Quill, who entrusted them in turn to me. The complete emancipation of bearers is their stated aim. But your father's dream did not end there. His Grace also spoke of building hospices to care for those stricken by the curse, and the founding of a new university to further the development of non-magical technologies. With the blight spreading ever more widely across the twins, Archduke Elwyn saw this as the only means of securing Rosaria's survival.
He wished to see men and bearers treated as equals. To see centuries of common wisdom overturned. Small wonder he did not think it achievable within his lifetime.
Of course, he is the
But
Ed
he
Stark,
thought it
Ed
achievable
Stark of
nonetheless.
this game.
Had he not, he would
Good
never
guy
have
all
written
along.
this message. Nor would he have entrusted his vision to his most faithful aides, those who would have stood with you, shielded you from the machinations of the less benevolent personages at court.
It's a pity only they are still with us.
'Tis true that those most loyal to your father were the first to suffer the Duchess's wrath. But one at least remains, and she has come bearing gifts.
What do you mean?
Mayhap it is better that she explain, my lord. After all, the duties entrusted to me by my predecessor extended only to recovering His Grace's will and arranging a meeting with the one who might execute it. Or
And where is this woman?
she awaits you in the archive, Your Grace.
Thank you, Cyril. Shall we then?
The archive. And then he's got his own side quest to top it all off.
Lord Marquis,
What is it, Cyril?
one of our brethren lately journeyed across the strait. He sent an owl some while ago, but
Was he surveying an...
no. The object of his study was a savior cult that has arisen in Ash in recent years, an ancient religion that worshipped Ultima. By gaining an understanding of this new faith,
And so you sent one of your brothers to Ash? A continent teeming with orcs and Akashic.
fully cognizant of I entrusted the mission to one of the most able of our order, the third chair, a master of the arts of combat. Though he has been silent for some days now, I have thus far refrained from sending any others. Yet it seemed only right to inform you of for as you so earnestly advised me, it would not do to abandon.
It would not. But Ash is a big place.
Perhaps. The last owl I received from him mentioned a village where he had heard the cult were wont to assemble. Mickleburg was its name. It
Oh boy, he said
lies in
Nickelback
the
then.
southern reaches of Waloed. If aught ill befell him,
All right.
All those areas
I'll
that I
see what
walked
I can
past
do.
are now usable
you
areas.
will go then with...
And now all have quests there. Interesting, isn't it?
If this new faith really is an offshoot of the Circle of Malleus, then...
Let's concentrate on finding the third chair first, shall we?
Fabulous. Where there's a will.
This is the Required Tree, an archive where we of the Undying collect and collate our findings. Fragments of open. Shall surely lie
The Undying are not the only secret fellowship in this realm, you know. There are others, each working...
My lord, your grace.
I hardly recognize you. I am Goditha, retainer of House Rosfield, loyal servant to the Phoenix and his shields. Your father, the Archduke Elwyn, entrusted me with the delivery of a gift. I only hope you can forgive my tardiness in bringing it to you.
Lift up your head, Lady Goditha. You have our gratitude for your service to our house and to our father.
I merely did my duty, as any proud Rosarian would.
My lady, perhaps you could explain a little more? What exactly is the gift you bring?
As I'm sure you know, it has long been the custom for the children of House Rosfield to be presented with certain keepsakes
I'm gonna get a sword.
upon their coming of age.
It's a sword.
Indeed it has. Our father often spoke of the day when our turn would come.
And had he lived to see it, he would have presented you with the treasures I bear. Matching armbands for you both. Alas,
It's an armor.
he did not live. Indeed, he was taken from us even before they could be completed. He had intended to claim the Heartstone with which each armband was to be finished himself, but it was not to be. And his gifts remain incomplete.
I see.
It saddens me to bring them before you, as they are. It was your father's wish that you be presented with the finished articles, not these works in progress. But with his grace long since gone, and the stone left unclaimed, I had little choice. You are grown men now, and his house is yours. And while I would not presume to insist upon your claiming the Heartstone in his stead, I know that nothing would have pleased him more than for you to do so.
Thank you, Lady Goditha.
What say you, Clive?
What
What
else?
say you?
Of course, my lady. May our father's will be done.
Oh, I am much obliged.
Do you know where we might find this Heartstone, my lady?
I do. Though it may be a matter of a good deal more than simply happening upon it.
Is it that
It is
place up in
found
the
in the
dim?
bellies of elder griffins, you see. We do at least know where to find one. A certain specimen has made its nest in
Never mind.
Titan's Wake, not far from here.
A
Speaking
certain
of times,
specimen.
wait.
You are most perceptive, Your Grace. In answer to your unspoken question, yes. In fact, this is the very same beast your father meant to slay. I have been tracking its movements since you were but a boy. Were you to slay it in his stead, as men of House Rosfield?
What say you, Joshua?
What else?
I inherited a fight. Poggers. Luckiest sons in the world, guys. Let's go. Talk about a way to force the fight into a quest.
Nice
Look at
peel,
this
Joshua.
ground. Oh, how convenient. There's the enemy. Ba-dum, ba-da-bum, ba-dum, ba-da-bum.
There it is.
For House Rosfield.
For Gondor!
Nice try.
That's the way. That's the way.
Is this the Heartstone?
He said it, not me.
I expect Lady Godotha will know.
While I'm in Titan's Wake, I guess. There's an S-class fight somewhere in here, but I don't know where it is. There's a Chimera somewhere in this area. Maybe it's here. Thanatos! Wait a minute. One snap.
Head over to your friends, Ultima. If it's me you want, I'm right here. Nice try.
Bro, really? I'm firing my laser. Right. Stop baby raging, bro. This looks something out of Final Fantasy 13. Is that one down? Waloo! Ooh, dog still.
And don't come back.
Yeah, you tell it, Clive. You showed that guy who's boss. You sure showed him. Urizen. I'm not sure who Urizen is. Okay.
This is the required tree. An archive.
I know it
Gallery
is.
of the
Thank you.
Undone.
I know it is.
Thank the Founder you were safe. The Griffin is slain then?
It is.
And the Heartstone claimed.
Something for the shelf. Am I right? Am I right,
Yes.
Clive?
This radiant luster like frozen flame. It is just as your father described it. Thank you, my lord. Your grace. Your father would be so proud.
Lady Goditha, the lapidary is ready.
Thank you, Cyril. I will be with him shortly. If you would excuse me, I shall have the stone cut and set forthwith. The armbands are complete. Pray, take them. They are yours, after all. Heartstone is harder and more enduring than garnet, or even ruby. It symbolizes unwavering will and devotion. And the graven vines encircling the stone represent the unbreakable bonds between you.
I ran across that road
It's a
like
message.
30 times. I didn't see that griffin once.
Father knew we had enemies both inside and outside the duchy. Enemies who would thwart his vision. Only with unwavering devotion would it ever be realized.
And only if we stood together.
07.
As Phoenix and Shield. As brothers in arms. Only then might those enemies be overcome.
Indeed. His Grace knew the enormity of the task he would entrust to you, his heirs. But this was more than just
His
a
heirs?
message. It was a
He losing a
promise
few.
that he would always be with you.
Thank you, Lady Goditha, for remaining the steadfast custodian
I've noticed
of our
what they're
father's
doing.
will.
A lot of these side
Forgive me,
quests
my lady,
are
but
closing off
there is something I don't
open-ended.
quite understand.
Open.
The Undying told me that after Father died, Mother claimed all of the ducal treasures for her own. Even if the armbands were incomplete, she would surely not have overlooked them. So, how were you able to keep them from her?
Because I was the keeper of the vault. Though I was but a lowly servant, your father spoke to me of his intentions for the bands, of the deep love he had for both of you, and his hopes for your future. In the days before the disaster at Phoenix Gate, I discovered that the Duchess had ordered her jewelry be sent away from the castle. It was then that I knew she meant to betray us.
And you didn't tell
I
anyone.
tried to warn your father, but it
Oh.
was too late.
You did.
When word of the fire reached Rosalith, I knew my time was short. So I took up the...
So the night before he said things that he said all this important stuff to Clive, knowing that everything was about to change. He could have prevented the death.
armbands and I
Probably why he didn't give in to her that night. Remember, way back at the start of the game.
fled into the night.
And thank the Founder you did.
Yet my duty to your father was thinking I might claim
Hang
the
on.
Heartstone on its passing. And so my pursuit continued
I've lost track of this
until
question.
Lord Cyril appeared before me. He informed me that his Grace's will had been recovered. And that his sons were alive and well.
quest to prepare,
Lady Goditha, on behalf of my
There's a lot of
father
lore in this.
and all the people of Rosaria, I thank you for your loyal service.
As do I.
Nice progress. Nice. What were you up
Thank you,
to on
my
your
lord.
stream? It just says games
Your
and demos
Grace.
on my side.
For coming back to us. For giving my service meaning.
What, you couldn't have waited, PC, for that quest to finish? It's not even as good. It's not even that good. It's not even better what I got on.
The bands suit you well.
I'm not even wearing it. I've got
It
better
must be
armor.
gratifying to finally receive the inheritance that was denied you for so long.
Don't need it.
It is.
They're not even wearing it.
And we thank you for the part you played, Cyril.
You think doing this side quest, they would have put it on the character's model? This isn't like a bit. This is a PS5 game, by the way. I think they could have added it on as
If
an
you would
accessory.
permit me to
Hello?
play my part a little longer, might I suggest that you make your way to your father's memorial
Oh.
atop Hawk's Cry Cliff? Let him see that you have received his blessing, and that his vision lives on in you.
I suppose it would be churlish not to. What do you say, Clive?
Churlish.
Shall we pay father a visit?
I think we should. I was hoping to be able to offer him my thanks before we left for Origin.
Your father's helm is enshrined there. It has been since the day we recovered it from Phoenix Gate. I prithee claim it, for it too is a part of your inheritance, and I do not doubt that your father would prefer it in your hands.
Good luck with
than
progressing through your
perched upon
challenge.
some lonely rock.
Thank you, Cyril. Come on, Clive. He's waiting.
Alright, fine. We'll go wherever we're supposed to go. Which isn't here. Oh god, we're not finishing all the side quests tonight anyway, let's be honest.
Not here.
Do you see that too?
Hey, can we see it from here? Oh, there it is.
There are many variations of the Zemeckis legend, but almost all agree that man was...
They were like, ain't no way, we're all gonna die.
Good day, Clive.
Oh, bro.
Farewell.
I like challenges like that. Reminds me of the one I did in Crisis.
Papa? What is it? Oh, please. Just make it stop.
It's a tree. You're all staring at a tree, by the way.
It's all right.
Where'd you
Come on.
What's the quest situation like anyway? Holy cow, dude. Come on.
It can't be Rutherford, can it?
Turncoats and cowards, the lot of you! If it's a fight you want, it's a fight you shall have!
Allow me.
I don't need your...
Please, Field Marshal, oblige him.
This won't take long.
You're right. It won't. Men, finish him.
You haven't started yet?
Blizzard!
You guys finish me. No? Remember that time he said finish him like a minute ago? Wow, good times, wasn't it?
A little longer than I'd have liked.
He's dead. It was really helping the world, by the way.
Field Marshal Havel, I presume. Are either of you injured?
No, my lord. You arrived just as our escort turned on us.
Fucking traitors. I'd heard reports of soldiers in the outlying regions abandoning the oaths they swore. But I hadn't thought the corruption had reached so close to the heart of the Republic. It's a fucking disgrace.
This guy is straight to the point.
Your interfering old bastard of an uncle tried to warn me, of course. My lord Marquis. Or is Sid the Outlaw more to your liking?
Call me what you want. It doesn't change who I am.
Let's call him John.
Or the urgency of the message I bring. My uncle has a plan to right the realm, and he needs your help to see it through.
Before I agree to anything, I'd have you answer one question. What do you stand to gain from all this?
Power.
I won't deny that I might benefit from further
Gil.
chaos.
Gil. We stand to gain Gil.
But I seek a new beginning for all of us.
No, Gil was the answer.
And while the choices I've made may not always have been the right ones,
He means Gil.
I know I made them for the right reasons. For so long,
Gil.
So many of us have been told how we could live, how we could die, when it should have been our decision all along. Now we have a chance to put things right. But in order to take it, we must stand together. Even if it be beside those with whom we don't see eye to eye.
Certainly not the words I expected from an outlaw. But perhaps your uncle was right. You are no ordinary outlaw. I'll never hear the end of this. All right. I'll start by ordering my most trusted guard to bring the Dhalmekian fringes under control. Next, I'll make contact with my counterparts in the Imperial Army and see if I can't convince them to try and restore order in their own territory.
Thank you, Field Marshal.
But they are not the only ones we will need to convince.
What do you mean?
I don't doubt that I can bully some sense into a few generals. But those they answer to require a different kind of persuasion. And when it comes to honeyed words, well, we will need an envoy. One who can court even the most stubborn of statesmen.
I'm flattered. But I'm no diplomat either. And I have other problems to attend to. What
Like
we
that
need
big thing in the sky that's going to destroy the planet.
is a skilled arbitrator. And I may know just the person.
Is that so? And would he happen to...
Of a different kind, perhaps.
Well, I suppose we'll all have to find a little of the outlaw in ourselves if we're to make it through this.
I shall.
My Lord Marquis. Your Lord Uncle bade me escort the Field Marshal to his manor in Port Isolde.
Oh, it's Rutherford.
And I will see that my associate joins you there.
Very good, my lord.
There's always a big thing in the sky about to destroy the planet. But you're not busy.
An envoy. I can barely convince my brother to take his medicine. Someone like Quentin. I hope I can convince him at least.
August? Go finish the other quest off though. I'm doing like multiple quests back to back. I'm doing Monkey Wrench. Multi-questing. It means to an end.
Unwavering will and an unbreakable bond. Do you really think we're strong enough?
save the world, of course. To have overcome Father's political enemies, of that I'm less. Especially knowing what we know now. What Mother was truly capable of. But perhaps these bands would have helped.
No, it's just back there.
And they don't have them on in the cutscene, I bet, as well. Nope, there you go.
Father always fought for what he believed was right.
Doom thingy.
It wasn't until that night at Phoenix Gate that I realized I had never fought for anything. I always had someone else to do the fighting for me.
No matter how fate conspired against him, he never lost heart, never looked back, never stopped fighting. To me, he was the greatest of men. And I've been trying to live up to his ideals ever since.
We know, Clive. Oh, look, there's an image of him.
We all have, Clive. We all have. And we'll keep trying. Because that's what he would have wanted.
I mean, Clive kind of feels like the king.
What he would have done himself.
The next that would take over as a king.
Even
I don't think he wanted it.
If it meant standing against the very gods in the heavens.
I shall be borrowing this, Father, if I may. That you might watch over us. As we follow in your footsteps.
Classic anime moment there. It was cool then.
We won't lay you down.
Onward then.
Onward. To the end.
And to a new beginning.
I like these little summaries at the end of the game kind of thing. It's kind of cool. Why is it in Clive's battle chambers if Joshua's taking the helmet? It'd be cool if you saw them physically wear the armbands for completing the side quest and that they like put a helmet on. Joshua has joined Clive's party and will remain with him until the time of origin. Game, are you okay? He's been here the whole time. Is this game okay? Why am I getting a message for that? He's been here the whole time. He's been here for like all the side quests. What do you mean, bro? Hey, Square, I found a bug for you, by the way. You might want to fix that. That's a pointless message. Classic Square. Your sword can now be used in combat. Hey, true. I need that. I need that information. The game's like, did you know that Joshua is in your party? And will be until you progress the next story arc. Oh, I didn't know that the first time. I think you just love how you can walk through all these moments here, though. These little parts of the field.
Quentin, I have a proposal for you.
Do you now? Something tells me you'll be asking more of me than a cask of Gotand gold. Go on, then.
Well, you see, there's this leader guy, and then there's other leader guy. They're not getting along, so we need you to tell them to do this.
You'd have me convince the chiefs and chamberlains of the realm that they should simply swallow their pride...
Pretty much.
And do the one thing that has proved impossible for thousands of years.
Pretty much.
Was there anything else? Perhaps I can fetch you a meat pie as well.
I know it.
Quentin's like one of the best characters in the game, man. Honestly, he is. His sense of humor is so good. You want me to you want me to look left and right at the same time? Hey, let me get you a meat pie at the same time.
It's a lot to ask, but I can think of none better suited to the role.
And you'd have me give up what little I have left to do it. I told you, Clive. The people of Lostwing are my family, and I cannot abandon them. You'll have to find someone else.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So am I.
And why might that be?
What he's asking. How's it any different to what you've done so far? They want you to speak for those who can't speak for themselves. That's what you do best. If it's the vineyard you're worried about, we'll see that the grapes are picked and the tons filled. You know we will.
It's not that.
Then what is it? You said yourself we're family. Don't you trust us?
You know that's not what I'm...
Then what are you saying? That only we are worth saving? Why turn your back on everyone else? You convinced us we could build new lives for ourselves, and if you can do that, who's to say you couldn't convince the entire realm?
Also, the meat pie. Don't forget the meat pie. That's important.
A stirring argument. I fear that any rejoinder I make might fall somewhat flat by comparison.
So you'll join us?
Where do you need me?
In the
Field
meat
Marshal
pie
Havel
section.
will want to speak with you in person. He's currently in Port Isolde. I can arrange for a party of Cursebreakers to accompany you there.
That would be very much appreciated. I hear the roads are far from safe these days.
Don't forget the meat pie.
Hopefully not for
I
long.
will not be happy.
My uncle will want to know that his plan is taking shape.
Hey, did you know that Joshua is in my party, guys? I thought I'd share that information. Oh god, I forgot about all these ones over here. Trial and error.
Nazaire might at least have mentioned where in Northreach he'd be testing this recruit.
I've nerve.
Oh, not this.
Well met, Sid. This is the initiate. Ember, present yourself.
At your service, Master.
Please, just Sid. There are no masters here. Your life is your own.
Oh, of course. Thank you, Sid. The sergeant says you'll be evaluating me at my trial.
To become a scout, yes. You are aware of the dangers inherent in that role.
I am. But I swore I'd face them. Just like the man who saved my life.
And who would that be?
Gav. It was him who found me and freed me. No magic, no support, just one man and his nose.
Why don't we just pair him with Gav, bro?
Came and sniffed me out. It taught me what one man can do if he puts his mind to it. And I've been training ever since, so that one day I can be someone's saviour, just like Gav was mine.
I'm sure he'd be flattered. You clearly have good intentions, Ember. And it sounds like you're under no illusions. Stick to this path and you'll make a fine curse breaker.
Fantastic, good luck.
So, what? Have I passed?
You haven't even started yet. Now listen.
This guy. Are we...
Not far from here is an Imperial lookout, Eastwatch. The guards there record all their sightings in a logbook. You are to find it and bring it here.
And bring it here, right. Anything else?
No. Sneaking into a heavily guarded Imperial outpost and stealing the logbook would be quite sufficient. You will need to assess the situation, determine a point of entry, create a distraction and effect an escape, all without being discovered and thrown into an Imperial oubliette.
Ember, Gav isn't our best scout because he can do everything. It's essential that you know your limits.
Know my limits, right. I won't let you down.
I don't think he's understanding the gravity of the situation here, is he? We're gonna end up saving him, aren't we? He's gonna get caught and we're gonna end up fighting like 100 soldiers just to save him.
It shouldn't be as dangerous as I made out. But keep a weather eye on him all the same, would you?
On my way.
It would be nice if I don't have to do anything on this.
All right, Ember. Impress me.
Yeah. I'm under no illusion is that a reality. Comparing this to Final Fantasy X is unfair to this game. Final Fantasy X is a masterpiece.
Faster.
It's also Squaresoft, so it's kind of a completely different generation of Final Fantasy. Where this is Square Enix. I agree, I prefer Final Fantasy X as well. 10's one of my favourites.
These are clean kills. Perhaps young Ember really is ready. Or maybe not. Damn it. Ember, draw your sword!
I can't!
Then run!
I think the graphics in 10 are really good considering it's PS2.
You want him?
You might
You'll
play
have
the
to go
remaster
through
and
me.
they've done up a bit, but even PS2 graphics look good for Final Fantasy X. Are really good.
Fire and flame!
It's not a resources thing. It's not a resources thing. It's the gaming industry is not.
That's it.
What's up, Iggy?
I've come up with a new recipe.
It's not a resources thing, Holy. It's more of a different teams now. Different management, completely different management in Square, and they've taken Final Fantasy in a different direction. Like it's just they'll never make a game that's going to be like the old games anymore. And those who hold on, yeah, and I know there are people out there that wish that they will, but even then, I don't think it would be good, even if they did. Like, think about this. In my opinion, it's always good to move forward rather than stay in the same place or going backwards. The amount of countless times I've seen someone post in a chat box or in here or even another someone's chat, and they'll be like, right, okay, do you think they'll ever do turn-based Final Fantasy again? And at that point, they're referring to something like Final Fantasy VII, which isn't even turn-based anyway. So that's why you end up in the spiral of the thing of Final Fantasy being known as turn-based. 10 is turn-based, to be fair, but it's like people's perception of what a Final Fantasy game is, or what games were then, is different. It's different now, and they have to appeal to a new market and stuff like that. I've seen some. I haven't watched it, but I've seen. I got recommended a video, and it's called Final Fantasy 16 turned back on old Final Fantasy fans, and I just can't. I haven't watched it because I don't need to. They haven't. It's just some guy ranting about how it's not the same as it used to be. But here's the thing: the games that we played in our past or ones before are always going to have something more special to us than ones that are now. Like I always say this as a general rule of thumb: your first Final Fantasy game is generally your favorite Final Fantasy game because that is the game that inspired. Which is why a lot of people's favorite is 15 because that was their first. Some people experience 15 as their first game. This will be a lot of people's favorite because this will be their first Final Fantasy game. I guarantee.
Are you?
Gone. Of course. Scouts really are a rare
10's
breed.
your favorite? Point prove him.
Back to Northreach it is then.
Yeah. As confirmed this before, Yet's favourite Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy 6, and I believe that was Yet's first Final Fantasy. You can correct me. 7 was my first Final Fantasy. It's my favourite Final Fantasy. My favourite video game of all time, to be fair. But like, that's different. But those games that have meaning to us are special to us because that's what gaming was. That's why we're all here, hanging out on the Twitch channel right now, and talking about video games and stuff, because those games had that effect on us. So I always, when I compare a game, like when I'm comparing 16, I'll compare it to 15, and I look at progression in Final Fantasy. I don't go, oh, it's not turn-based, so it's bad, kind of thing. Like, I will compare this game to 15, 13, 10, and 7, as they are the breakthrough games for Final Fantasy on each respective console, PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5. Like, but I'm not going to go ham on it. I'm just going to treat the game as the same product. There's too much of, wow, it's not Final Fantasy 7. I've said this before, but there's a lot of, it's not Final Fantasy 7, so it's bad. And that, unfortunately, is never going to go away. 7 was your first, but you think 9 is your favorite? 9 grows on you. I think 9 is the most perfect Final Fantasy. But it's also a recipe of a lot of call-outs and Easter eggs to the original games. To the older games, rather. Every game before it, apart from 8, I think, there's a reference in there. See, in my opinion, 9 is the best made Final Fantasy on the PS1 generation of Final Fantasies. Why? Because there's not silly bugs. You can't really break the game in a way like where you can overpower yourself really quickly. You can on 7 and 8. The coding in 7 is, well, if you don't know, Final Fantasy 7's code is very spaghetti code. Not casually, you'll rarely find things wrong with 7, but like if you play the game a lot, you'll come to realize you can break it immediately. I played 7 last year on stream, right? And within 2 minutes, within the first screen, I broke the game. It was my first time playing the PC version, but I broke the game somehow. I broke the game unintentionally. I didn't even mean to. I broke the game. But yeah, it was hilarious. There was a clip somewhere. But like 9 has like no issues with it. The issues of 9 are literally in a hand. I can count in my hands the issues of 9. Trance, the battle speed, the steal rate, considering your main character is a thief. Tetramaster, not a fan of it. I know people like it. There's always one that I will forget. I think that's it. I think it's just them 4. They're the four main issues.
A fortress?
Yeah, it's got that clip of speed though. 9's a good one. I got a real itch to play 9 these days. Every time you hear the soundtrack, I'm like, I want to play 9.
I didn't
Trance
expect
was
you
so
back so
frustrating
soon.
to deal with.
Where is Ember? How did he fare?
I thought I'd find him with you. He must have fled. I followed him to Eastwatch, where I found him being set upon by a wild Avis. He was just standing there. Didn't even draw his sword. I had to step in and take care of things. But by the time I had, he was nowhere to be seen. I assumed he'd set off in your direction, but apparently not.
I'm sorry, Sid. I knew the boy had a nervous streak, but he seemed like...
The right man for the job?
There was the Hojo thing as well. I just remembered the Hojo thing, where I fought the Hojo fight twice. I triggered an extremely rare way of setting off a boss trigger thing. A thing with where you have to fight the boss twice. If I'm holding a certain button, apparently. And you gain the experience in the AP, and then it insta-starts the boss fight again. It only works. It's like a multi-thing.
Is the log
Crazy. I remember that. That was crazy. I was like, wait, what's going on there?
How did you... Don't you tell me you breached the tower while Sid was busy saving your skin.
What? Wasn't that what you asked me to do? To bring the thing back without getting caught?
He has you there, Nazaire. And he did it all on his own.
But Sid, he
did what he thought was best. And now I have to decide whether I agree.
Of course. We'll await your evaluation back at the hideaway.
Right.
Don't you leave my sight.
Yes, Sergeant.
The kid did good, but he's kind of annoying.
This won't be an easy decision.
Upside downward cloud must be canon. Right, I know what this quest is in here. I think I'm gonna call it there for Final Fantasy 16 today. I think with the break in my PC being a bit having an instant shutdown, I don't wanna leave it on for too long. We've done the full stream anyway. So I guess we're finishing the game tomorrow. But wow, did we have a ride setting up towards it. We had the Ultima, who just talks and talks and talks and talks. We had we fought a version of him. It was an interesting fight. I actually died. Genuinely died in the game. That was crazy. Yep, we tried Odin. Not a fan. Kind of pointless gimmick. It's nice that they put a gimmick in the game. I just didn't find it that good. I understand how it works. I just didn't think it's useful for... I think it's just good for clearing mobs. But I can clear those mobs quicker without setting out Odin. So... it's not for me, but hey, the thing with icons in this game is there's no setups, right? It's just use whichever one you prefer. You love Odin for the stagger phases. I staggered an enemy and I only did. I lost half the stagger phase. It didn't even do much damage. I did a level 5 Zantetsuken and it did less damage than I normally do by just changing across 3 different icons. So, for me, it just didn't do it. It did 48,000 damage as opposed to my normal 98 to 100,000. And I was like, okay. So, yeah. Did I raise the multiplier to 1.5? It was times 5, dude. I had level 5. But hey, that's the joy. It looks flashy. I like the idea, like the abilities increase the levels as well. You don't have to, because I like it. You do less damage until then you have the payoff, and you can insta clear like 15 mobs. Like I intentionally set it up so I didn't kill anybody, and there was like 15-20 mobs in a room, and then I used level 5 Sentetsu again, and everything died. It was kind of fun, but you know, it's more work. I can still clear it all off quicker. But I just didn't think much of Odin. I just think it's just given to you at the wrong moment of the game. I can't see a use for it. I can deal with a lot of the fights a lot easier than trying to set it up. So, but maybe I'll have a different view when I do the time trial challenge for Odin, because there's obviously one for each icon, right? And then it's side quest central and bounties, which will pick up and finish. I kind of like abruptly. I was trying to get the side quest done, but it would be a good way to start off, finish off the side quests on the next session, and then do the bounties, and then finish the game because it's clearly at the end of the game. And it gives me time just in case it's a final dungeon to actually enjoy the final dungeon rather than rush it. But I think that's basically everything covered from today. Yeah, still a good session. Dancing Steel is basically 3 level 5s at Zantetsuken. No, it's not. Not for. I've not had it go level 3, level 5. Also, if it missed, it's a complete waste. I did it, and then the enemy jumped back. I did it, and the enemy jumped back, and it completely missed, and we just wasted it. It's not a 3 level 5 though. It increases it by like 2 levels. In fact, it just showed it on there, but it increased it for me by 2 levels or 2. Like I did both abilities, and then I did a few slashes, and I was at level 5. It is pretty quick. If Master doesn't do anything, Master just allows you to assign to any icon. Mastering it means nothing. I've not mastered anything because all you can do is just assign it to any icon. Upgrading it is what you do. It was upgraded. Yeah, it was upgraded. That's what I'm saying. It was upgraded. It wasn't a 3 level 5. And it worked, and it hit about 3 mobs around it. It's really cool and flashy. Don't get me wrong. Like he just goes down and cuts everybody up, and it's just non-stop attacking. It's really fun. Like it's really fun to use. Don't get me wrong, but I just didn't agree with. It just didn't work for me. I think it looks flashy, Odin. I just don't think I don't think it's as fun, and I think it's because if this is the bit that you gained earlier, not insta wiping enemies, because I don't think it matters when you get them. I think it's just something that once you've acquired the others, I've already found ones that I enjoy, so I kind of like it. Oh, you got the extra 50%. Okay, that'd be why. That'd be why then. Yeah. That's today's Final Fantasy 16. Next one, finale. Absolutely for sure, 100%. No copium, 100% finale of Final Fantasy 16. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see you there. Have a good one.